Hey, Wicked DK here. Taking a look at 2020, the planning. Ning, 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 ning. Ning, 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 ning. So my apologies for being away for a while. Work schedule in December was hellish. Holidays, holidays. But January 1st has come and gone, and it's slightly less hectic. So, unlike John Rosen, who took 3 weeks off, apparently to ski, some of us had to work. I'd be really pissed if I was actually paying for a membership to LA Kings Insiders, which I'm not. But that reminds me, you could get a VIP membership. Remember, just contact me, $19.95 a month. That's it. So what about the Kings? The Kings. Moving forward, 2020, what are we seeing? Well, they're pretty much exactly what we thought. We're, 41 games in, about halfway in the season. Well, not about, actually halfway. And they're on pace for about as many points as last year, but the team looks a lot better. We have structure, we have effort. The quote-unquote culture appears to be much better. And so, I mean, I'm not sure what you were expecting, but that's kind of what I expected, that we would see improvements under the Ewok King, a certain level of professionalism and what have you, and that we really wouldn't be that much better because we're just not very skilled. And we've talked about this endlessly through the season, and I don't see anything different. If the Kings play up to their potential every night, then they have a chance to win. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. If the other team typically plays up to their potential and they're more talented, they're going to beat the Kings. Things like the power play in particular. If the other team has a high-end power play that's actually performing, well, the Kings are at a major disadvantage. And, it is what it is. We're just going to have to wait for talent to come. There's just no other way around it. Obviously, the big news of the day, the Covey. The cover master is now Le Covey. Le Covey being signing for the Canadians. And that'll be interesting to see how that goes. But, obviously it didn't work out here. Maybe it does there. I tend to doubt it, but who knows? Well, I'll just have to wait and see. And so if we're waiting, well, that means we need to take a look at the kids. The kids. And so the big news with the kids, of course, is the World Junior Championships are underway. Full disclosure, because of my work schedule, I haven't watched all the games. In fact, I haven't watched most of them. The ones I have watched, I watched 2 USA games. And then I watched one game involving Sweden. So I'm not going to talk about Kings prospects on the other team, since obviously I don't have anything to say, although I could just make some crap up if you'd like. Just let me know. But as far as the players I have seen, I thought they all looked pretty decent. So let's talk about them, because I know there's one player in particular you're fired up about. So what about Artie? Artie looks exactly like the Kaliev always looks. Kind of mediocre on the ice, but get him the puck anywhere near the net, and there's a good chance he's putting it in. Artie is a sniper. I mean, when you hear me complaining the Kings have no snipers and haven't had one in a long time, this is what a sniper looks like. The big question with Artie, is can he get the rest of his game in sufficient order that he'll be able to play and have a career at the NHL level? I don't know. You don't know. Yeah, I think it looks better. As far as the rest of his game, he's obviously gotten the message and is making the effort, but we'll have to see if he gets there. But again, limited ice time. He's got 4 goals, 2 assists, I think, something like that, which is pretty impressive. And if the Kings, I think the hope for the Kings, I see some people saying Artie could be a first-line winger. No, he can't. Offensively, he can, but defensively, no. I think what Artie is going to be is like a third-line winger and a first unit power play player. Because you get Artie out there, and imagine we would have a power play where somebody could actually shoot. Now, Kopitar can shoot, but for some reason doesn't like to. Artie likes to shoot, and he puts the puck in the net. So that would be obviously a huge benefit. So thumbs up for Artie. Footy, Bjorn, the Bjorny footy. Looked pretty much as advertised. Footy, to me, pretty much every game I watch him, he looks the same, which is good. He's a consistent, smooth skater. They should play Sade songs when he is skating. Not dynamic offensively, but not, he's not an anchor. I could see him as a top 2 defensive pairing on the Kings. Put him with somebody like Walker and let Walker go, freelancing around the offensive zone, and Turcotte can be back there to clean up messes. A good pick, solid pick. Don't have any big issues with him. Not Turcotte, Footy. And then C, Turcotte, the player I know. Now, I haven't been on the boards very much because, again, work. But I'm sure that the reaction to Turcotte's World Junior Championships is probably Panic at the Disco. He's a bust. Oh, my God, we should have picked fill in the blank. Everybody chill out. Everybody calm down. It's 4 games. 4 games is not what you're going to base a player on. And that would be true if Turcotte had scored 24 goals in the 4 games or none. It's 4 games. That's it. This kid has averaged a point a game pretty much throughout his career. As far back as we have stats. That's what he's doing at Wisconsin this year. He's a first-year player in college. Relax. He's fine. He is literally fine. I mean, he's playing third line center here with Caulfield. Do you think Montreal's freaking out about Caulfield being on the third line? No. Turcotte, from what I've seen of him, is he getting huge ice time? No. But again, he's a first 18-year-old on this team. Most of the 19-year-olds are going to get the big time. That's just the way it works in World Junior Championships. If you don't believe me, last year, Podkolzin, who ended up being, I think, the 9th overall pick to Vancouver, he was playing as a checking wing on the 4th line for the Russians. And ironically, that apparently actually helped his draft evaluation, because there were some questions about, will he play defense? And in that tournament, in the World Junior Championships, I think he had maybe 1 goal or maybe 1 assist, and that was it. But he was just an animal on defense. I mean, he accepted the role. Okay, this is what you want me to do. And he went out there and had at it. And so, the scouts were impressed by that. If you're on the 3rd line, you're not going to score a bunch of goals. Should Turcotte be higher? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Who can say? Coaches are going to have different approaches and different ways they want to go. Obviously, they probably want to keep him with Caulfield because they're playing together at Wisconsin and played together, on the U.S. team. So I think that makes sense. I didn't see anything about Turcotte that really bothered me. I didn't see any major deficiencies. He had that nice give and go with Caulfield to win the game against the Czechs in overtime. Don't sweat Turcotte. Turcotte's fine. The other thing to remember about Turcotte, though, is that the comparable is Jonathan Toews. Even at Toews' height, when Chicago and the Kings would play the de facto Stanley Cup Finals, for the Western Conference, because we knew either one of them would kill the Eastern team. Toews was not a rush down the ice, deking everybody, going Datsukian for a solo goal. That's not the kind of player he is. That's not the kind of player Turcotte is. Turcotte is a 200-foot player who's going to do a lot of the dirty work. He's going to set up his teammates. He's going to score goals. He's a gritty guy, but he's not going to be some guy who's going to be, doing the Ovechkin rush down the wall or something like that. That's not what he is. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Don't worry about Turcotte. Let him be. Everybody calm down. I'm sure people are freaking out. If you want a comparison to last year, one that we all know, the top 5 picks, people were considering different players. Remember, one was Dylan Cousins, the guy with the really, really, really long neck. Buffalo ended up taking him. He was awful last year in the World Junior Championships with Canada. I mean, terrible. Even during the games, it was just like, wow, this guy's just not good. And he was taken by Buffalo. He was playing, I don't know if he's playing in juniors or at their minor league team, whatever it was. He broke his thumb, but then he came back and he's been dynamic, and they love him. They're really, really happy with him. So, you can't look at a 4-game sampling and draw a lot of conclusions. You just can't. So calm down, deep breath, meditate, maybe listen to some Carly Simon. Fagemo, Sir Samuel. What was Sam in Lord of the Rings called? I can't remember. I thought he had some specific name. But Sir Fagemo certainly fits into the Kings' offensive philosophy, which is shoot and shoot often. I've never seen a junior player just shoots from everywhere. If he went to the bathroom and a puck rolled in, he would take a slapper. He likes to shoot a lot. Unlike a lot of the Kings forwards, though, he actually seems to get some of them into the net. I know, revolutionary idea. But yeah, second round pick. He certainly looks like a potential legit, NHL forward, second or third line forward, probably somewhere in between. We'll have to see how he develops. But again, here's an example when we talk about Turcotte. Fagemo, he was drafted by the Kings last year. The entire previous draft, nobody took him. He went through the whole draft unselected. And now he's a 19-year-old kid. He's played in a pro league, and he's getting first-line minutes, and he's producing. He just has a much more mature game. Turcotte's described as mature, but Turcotte, this is his first year really playing outside of the U.S. national program. And he's playing with Wisconsin, so he's, evolution-wise, a couple steps behind Fagemo. And you can see the difference. So if Turcotte next year is playing at Wisconsin still, and he goes to the World Junior team, well, then he'll probably be the first or second line center. And, you can see how that all plays out. So again, when I looked at the kids, the ones that I saw, I'm not concerned. I think it's actually, they all look pretty good, to be honest with me. There wasn't one that I was like, ah. So hopefully felt the same way. And the important thing to remember with Kings is that if you're going to build a team that's going to contend for a cup, and remember, that's what we're after. All this talk about, let's make the playoffs. No, who cares? We want to compete for the cup. Going in the first round and getting crushed by some team doesn't mean anything. But the good teams, they have depth. And so we want all these kids to be good and contribute to the team, whether they're first liners, second liners, even third liners. So as far as I'm concerned, it all looked pretty damn good. Now we're gonna have to wait a couple of years, and I know everybody, we're gonna make the playoffs. No, we're not. We're just not. So be patient. Try to be patient. You can do it. I know you can. Resolutions. My first resolution. Well, I'm not going to tell you my personal resolutions because it's January 3rd. And of course, I've already broken them all. But for the Kings, first resolution. Ewok King either needs to get his act together or he needs to bring in somebody to coach the penalty kill. Now, the power play is bad. I can understand why the power play is bad because we just kind of lack talent. But the penalty kill isn't based on talent. It's not a talent thing. It's an effort and design thing. And so if we have players on our penalty kill who are not giving the effort, then they should be taken off the ice. And if the players are all giving the effort and the problem is the design, well, then the design should be fixed. I get why we suck at the power play. But the penalty kill, we should not be, dead last in the league or close to it. We're like in the bottom 3 or 4. There's just no reason. We should be middle of the pack at least, and that would probably add 5 or 7 points to our, point total. So my first resolution is for the Kings to get their crap together when it comes to the penalty kill. Second resolution, embrace the suckage. Rob Blake, last year, very few trades. Muzzin and a couple of, partial guys that brought back third and fourth round picks, but none of the vets because, quote unquote, we didn't get offers that we liked. Well, here's the deal. The vets are on the downside of their career. Any offer you get is one to make the trade for. We're on pace for 70 points, 72, something like that. What's the difference? If the vets are getting a 72 with Kopitar having a pretty amazing year, this should be a sign. So, trade deadline. Players who should be traded. Toffoli. Carter, if you can get him to go. Lewis. Clifford. I know Clifford is the greatest thing since sliced pie. But if Clifford's really a leader and really loves the Kings organization, then he will help them by agreeing to be traded and then re-signing as a free agent this summer. Martinez. Hopefully he gets back quick enough that we can get him traded. Hutton. Trade Hutton. Forbert if he comes back. Trade Forbert. Ferk. Trade Ferk. In goal. Trade. Quick would be the better choice, but realistically, they're probably going to have to trade Campbell because I don't see how they're going to get anybody to take Quick's contract. But the point being, move these people, get more draft picks, because again, take as many draft picks as you can. Let's see if Yannetti really knows his crap. Certainly the signs have been good here this last draft or two. But go out there and get as many of these kids as you can, because of course some of them aren't going to work out. Some of them will suffer injuries. Some of them will discover the joys of marijuana and donuts. It's just going to happen. So the more kids we get, and we get them all coming up in a wave, the better off we are going to be. So that would be my second resolution. I think second, or is that third? I don't know. Resolutions, they come fast and quick. And then my last resolution would be very simple. For love of God, take Dowdy off the power play, have Walker replace him, and let forth the goal scoring. Dig out.